Hi my dearest viewers, this is a video about the 11th house of astrology and the meaning of each planet located in it. The 11th house of astrology is to do with friends and common goals and ambitions. The 5th house is about your way of expressing yourself creatively, whilst its opposite, the 11th house, is about the creative expression of groups. It reveals the ability of the native to form group relationships and shows whether he is social or reclusive and how he appears to his friends. It also shows what kind of friends the native is likely to attract. This house also shows how the native reacts to new ideas and innovative things, whether he easily accepts them or is skeptical and traditional, whether he is open or closed to new experiences. Whilst the 5th house deals with the expression of the individual ego and relates to sex to a high degree, the 11th house is more impersonal and is concerned with humanitarian purposes. It's about realizing unconditional love and understanding the universal mind rather than gratifying personal desires. Those kinds of common goals that the 11th house is concerned with give a sense of fulfillment to the individual. Here are the meanings of each planet located in this house. Pluto in the 11th house. This placement indicates that the individual will have strong desires associated with group activities, such as to reform some aspect of the society, for example. It depends on the aspects whether those desires would serve the public well or ill. The individual will attract powerful people who may help him to achieve his goals. Again, those people might be powerful in a good or a bad way. It's very important with this placement to respect the freedom and rights of your friends and other individuals, as Pluto may encourage you to be too domineering, not considering the likes and dislikes of other people. You're able to transform yourself through other people. It could be that some catastrophe involving many people will deeply touch you, as you will be a part of it and will transform you. You have a powerful influence over your friends, but they too can cause a huge transformation in you. This placement influences the native to attract friends who are interested in the occult. The native might join an occult society, and this will cause either negative or positive transformation depending on the aspects of the planet. If Pluto is well aspected, the native could even run a powerful occult society and be able to gain a deep insight into the workings of the hidden side of the universe, whilst if Pluto is badly aspected, then it's better not to join such secretive organizations because it, for example, could be very difficult to get out of them. The native might hold a powerful position in politics, but operate behind the scenes. If Pluto is well aspected, the native will have a powerful insight into the motivations of his friends, as well as into the fields such as science. This placement could also mean that there were traumas associated with being with friends. It could be that a close friend died, and his death deeply affected the native. The loss of friends may cause the native to be obsessed about maintaining friendships through control. He might always fear at the back of his mind that friends will leave him, or that he will be asked to leave some group he is a member of. Some people can use this weakness and manipulate the native through suggestions of the possibility of ending the friendship. This placement gives you the power over the masses. You're able to dominate them and to influence their thoughts. However, if the planet is ill aspected, then that kind of domination will negatively affect you. You quickly understand the workings of any group and are able to influence it for your own ends. However, if Pluto is ill aspected, friendships will end unexpectedly, sometimes due to the native's fault, and there will be losses of money due to overspending on group activities and individual friends. Friends will be powerful, but if Pluto is ill aspected, they could be domineering, jealous, and obsessive. Powerful friends may help the native to attain high positions at work, especially if Pluto is close to the 10th house. Those friends, however, will want the favors back from the native and can be quite cruel and dangerous if he refuses to pay the favor back. Once you get the help of such individuals, they will consider you as their property. You will feel within their sphere of influence, and it will be hard to break out. So be careful in accepting the favors of the powerful people with such a placement, as that could entrap you. Neptune in the 11th house. You have high expectations of your friends, which might be unrealistic. Your friends might not be able to live up to them. You are very open-minded and spiritual in your friendships. You are sensitive and emotional in your reactions in your interactions with your friends. With a well-aspected Neptune, you will be generous to your friends and compassionate. It's likely that your friends will be spiritual and will cause you to mature spiritually as well. It's likely that you will attract friends who have a link with you from past lives, so the relationship will feel spiritual from the very beginning. You might be interested in groups that help humanity in some way, or those that explore spiritual subjects. Your friends might be highly artistic. You have the opportunity to evolve through associations with them. If Neptune is ill aspected, you might have delusions about your friends. For example, they might be using you, but you will not see this and instead consider them good and reliable friends. So with an afflicted Neptune, friends might deceive you and may cause you other difficulties. It's important to see the situation as it really is, rather than as you want it to be. An afflicted Neptune is powerful in blinding the native, so great care should be taken to really see the situation as it is. So in your natal chart, you can just check the aspects that your Neptune has, and if you see a negative aspect, which will be probably colored red, a red ray, check to which area, to which house it goes, and then you will know which area you're likely not to see clearly in your life. Also, an afflicted Neptune will encourage the native to make friends with people who are alcoholics, drug addicts, or have the habit of using other addictive, mind-altering substances. Such friendships will lead to the native becoming an addict of some sort too, so great care should be taken with an afflicted Neptune to select only those people to hang out with who don't have such damaging habits. You may sometimes feel so blended into a group that you might even forget your own identity. There are almost no personal barriers when it comes to friendships, and this puts you at risk, as energy vampires may abuse you, so developing healthy boundaries when in a group is important. If Neptune is not afflicted in any way, this can make you highly intuitive about your friends. But that's usually when it's located in a spiritual sign, such as that of Pisces. Otherwise, if, for example, Neptune is located in an earthly sign, such as Capricorn, this will make you highly observational about the material things, about your friends, rather than the spiritual. So it's important to also look at the sign which the planet is placed in. You understand and feel the connection to humanity as a whole, and you might proactively do something to help the world, such as through supporting the poor. This placement is a little unfavorable when it comes to collaboration for money-making ventures, as you are likely to have unrealistic expectations and plans about the business. If Neptune is afflicted, your friends will be of a passive nature and unreliable. They might be unpredictable as well. It could be that the native would do a lot for his friends and would help them when they're in difficulty, but will not receive much help when he is the one in need. This kind of placement, if Neptune is well aspected, could lead to the creation of some sort of utopian spiritual society. Uranus in the 11th house. This is a great placement, indicating that the person is very open-minded and compassionate. He deeply feels the bond that people share with one another and will try to do something to contribute to the well-being of humanity. It's likely that he will have no regard for tradition or established rules that do not serve to improve the human life. The native will be in tune with universal currents and will have a natural understanding of how the universe works in its spiritual aspect. They are likely to be interested in occult subjects and science. Friends of the native will be unusual in some way. They will be innovative thinkers, artists, performers, writers, psychics, and some might even display the traits of a genius. When it comes to marriage, the native may find it difficult to function in such a union if the spouse is insecure, because the native will value freedom above all else. He may also have an unusual approach and philosophy about marriage, which may be shocking to those who support this traditional institution the way that it functions now. They might feel that being only with one person limits them and makes them as though imprisoned, so such natives are unlikely to easily agree to any permanent union. If the planet is afflicted, the native might be irresponsible and too idealistic in a relationship as well as when in a group. He might come up with ideas that cannot work if put into practice. If the planet is well aspected, he will come up with ideas that could establish world peace if applied. You will probably expect higher ideals from your friends than they would be able to embody. Humanitarian goals will drive you, and you might become the change in the society for the better. People view you as an inspiring figure because you work towards the peace of the society. You feel a part of your community and a particle of humanity at large. You know that you cannot separate yourself from this organism, and neither do you want to. You will be intuitive about your friends and will sense energy vampires, so such people will not be able to use you. You will sense if people will want to use you in some way or will be overly attached, and this intuition allows you to prevent such friendships. If some friends feel much attached to you, you might feel like distancing yourself from them because you value freedom in relationships. You might communicate with your friends irregularly. Sometimes friends suddenly appear in your life and then disappear. You probably meet people suddenly without arranging an occasion, and you will not be able to keep communications with those who need constant attention. If Uranus is positively aspected, this placement can help you earn quite a lot of money from group activities where internet or technology is involved. For example, with the help of friends, you might come up with some useful app or something like that. Sometimes it can help you to succeed as a musician. This placement can help you to succeed as a musician or any artist when working in a group. This placement possible This is especially possible if the planet positively aspects the second house, Venus or Jupiter. But when it comes to something stable and permanent, this planet definitely cannot be relied on because it's the planet of unpredictability and change. If your Uranus is negatively aspecting the planet Mars, you should avoid taking part in demonstrations, as you might suffer from violence, fire, explosions, and might be injured quite seriously. Uranus can also bring spiritual people in your life, through whom you will experience events connected with the non-physical aspect of this universe. Saturn in the 11th house. You will take your friendship seriously and people will find you reliable. Through friends, you will be able to reach high positions at work. You will naturally make connections with people who are stable and influential, and they will help you to achieve career heights. You will help friends who are in need, and you will carefully select the people you hang out with. You will have few friends, but those whom you will have will be true friends. They will help and support you, remaining with you even if some huge misfortune happens to you, and you will help them as well. If Saturn is afflicted, the native will selfishly see gains through friends, and his friends will do the same. Your friends are likely to be older, emotionally mature and disciplined. They will be probably business-like and career-oriented. It's possible with such a placement to attract people whom you knew in your past life. The older people who are your friends will feel like they are talking to their equal, though you will be younger than them. They perceive you to be an old soul. You find that you have nothing in common with your peers. You're likely to join groups that help you achieve greater heights in your career. Those groups will probably be something to do with business or occupational concerns. In a group setting, you will act mature and probably quite conservatively. People might perceive you as unemotional and businesslike. You are not a very social person and you trust people very slowly. It takes time for you to make strong friendships. You prefer solitude than being with friends. You may not feel well in group settings. When in a group, you strive to keep your individuality and guard against being influenced by the mass mind. One of the reasons you avoid groups is exactly this, that you don't want to lose your individuality and become like others. With this placement, you have an excellent ability to filter out poor friends and only choose a few that will remain loyal and reliable. So although the sign definitely doesn't promise many friendships, the ones that you will have will be great and long-lasting ones. But most of the time, you will enjoy staying alone. You will find balance and peace in solitude. If Saturn is ill aspected, it could be that you will tend to repel everyone and usually will spend large amounts of time alone. It can influence you to hate all people. You may really dislike being in groups and would do everything possible to avoid being a part of social gatherings. You may feel claustrophobic when in a group setting and may hate being close to too many people. If Saturn is afflicted by malefics, it could be that you had bad experiences with friends when you were a child. For example, they might have hurt you in some way, and because of that, now you dislike being in groups. You might feel that friendships are burdens and bring great responsibilities, and thus you will strive to avoid forming many of them. This placement also promises wealth in the second part of life. Usually people who work hard and consistently start earning large amounts of money when they're mature, and this wealth keeps getting bigger and lasts till the end of life, but actually the house is responsible for wealth that is not earned in usual ways. So it could also be that for example, you will suddenly become wealthy in some way that does not involve hard work. But Saturn in general rewards hard work. But this house sometimes promises wealth without much hard work. So either of this could happen. Caring for all people and providing your company to them will increase this wealth even further, because Saturn rules the people of old age. So the way to please this planet is to show respect and support for those ruled by it. This placement definitely makes you a lone wolf, but it also gives you an ability to organize people and lead them. You will also be able to plan well into the future when it comes to group activities. However, you will never blend into a group. You will either be a leader or a rebel in a group, or take any other position that will separate you from the crowd. You will be unemotional about the group. Though you might invest a lot of time in it, you will never become emotionally attached to its members. You view the group as a structure and are able to organize and manage it well because no emotions or attachments are involved. Jupiter in the 11th house. You will be lucky in your friendships. Friends will help you to expand your mind and will cause great spiritual and intellectual growth. Your friends see you as good-natured, kind, and magnanimous. You will be concerned not only about the well-being of your friends, but the society at large. In response, you will attract kind-hearted and generous people. If Jupiter is afflicted, you may attract people who will try to teach you about things spiritual or educate you in other ways, but usually those lessons will be of a philosophical kind that cannot be applied in the real world. You would also take your friends for granted and be responsible towards them. Sometimes you will be friends with them only because you see that some benefit can be gained through them. With this placement, it's possible to achieve large group goals, such as helping humanity at large in some way. Also, a great impact could be made in the field of law, religion, education, or the organization of the society. With a well-aspected Jupiter, friends will be sincere and honest and will support you in whatever you do. They will bring you luck. You might have some high-profile friends, especially employed in some career to do with legal matters. You're very giving in your friendships, and people love the kind of energy that you exude. They feel it's the energy of pure goodness and love. It's through your associations with friends that you will be able to achieve prosperity. There might be many group activities in your life. For example, there might be parties with lots of eating and drinking, and also with lots of discussions about travels abroad, spirituality, philosophy, and higher education. You will feel at home and happy in a group setting. You will love giving of yourself to your friends. If Jupiter is afflicted, it could be that you spend too much time with your friends and enjoy group activities to the neglect of your work and studies. This placement can attract many friends from abroad. Interestingly, this house also deals with huge wealth. Like Saturn, this placement can gift great wealth to the native. This placement promises that you will never be left alone in trouble. There will always be someone to help you out. You will be naturally good at planning and organizing group activities, even if they involve large or very large groups. You will be great at jobs that require you to deal with large amounts of people. You will feel fulfilled when giving of yourself to the masses. Mars in the 11th house. You will spend a lot of energy on your friends, on building friendships, and on being involved in groups. You are likely to have more male friends and women who have masculine energy. Your friends might be energetic and ambitious, helping you to get your work done. An ill aspected Mars may make one into a rebel. The native may try to cause societal unrest in order to change the society in some way. For example, to destroy the existing societal structure. But if Mars is not afflicted, the native might be motivated to improve the order of the society rather than just destroying it. Friends will be inspired about the pro-action and energy levels of the native, but if Mars is afflicted, the native will be quarrelsome and will cause disorder in groups. The native might be impulsive in group activities, causing injuries or even death to himself or others. You're not afraid to be the first one to make friends. You're not passive about your friendships. You're great at starting projects, though if Mars is afflicted, it might be difficult to finish them. So it's good to be in a position where you start some project and then employ people to carry it through. You should also be good in public performances. You're so energetic in a group setting or in front of the public that this can make you an excellent choice in being the host of some event. You're excellent at heading any sort of activity or event where lots of energy is required. However, you might have difficulties in cooperating with others. You may want to do things your own way and not look at the reactions and preferences of others in the group. With this placement, you will strive to be the one people notice. It will matter you greatly how you are perceived by others. It's important in your case to strive to be cooperative and to reduce the ego in the group. This will result in group harmony. It's also important not to join any group that promotes any sort of violence, because this will make Mars function in a malefic way in an individual's life. Also, if Mars is afflicted in this house, the native might have been bullied as a child, so he might join such organizations to express the suppressed energy of hatred. Also, if Lilith is located, the asteroid Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, is located in the 11th house, it means that it's very likely that the person was bullied when he was a child. If Mars is afflicted by malefics, it could be that the native was physically, maybe sexually abused as a child. It's important to seek for non-harmful ways to release this energy, such as through competitive sports. The native might be a part of some sports or military groups or other groups involving physical activity or something to do with metal, weapons, or fighting, like martial arts groups. Sometimes this placement encourages the native to aggressively go for new friends, but failing to maintain existing friendships. This results in many friends, but no real friends. The native needs constant activity in a group setting and dislikes passive people. If friends no longer excite him, he may easily end the friendship. He may want to compete with his friends, so there might be power struggles in a group. A well-aspected Mars may influence the person to become the leader of a group or organization, but if it's ill-aspected, the native will try to get to the top, sometimes through immoral ways, and will not succeed. He will hate being unnoticed, but because his approach about getting to the top is so selfish, he is not likely to reach the position he aims for. That, of course, can be changed if he tries to attain higher positions through humane ways. Sun in the 11th house. You will want to shine in a circle of friends, and you express yourself very well in group activities. What others think of you is important to you. A well-aspected sun gives you popularity in the group, as well as many friends. You might be interested in inventions, technology, and science, maybe even occult. You will have friends who are powerful and who will help you in life. They will be generous, maybe proud. They will be people in leadership positions. You might be able to achieve fame through some group activity. You will be good at managing groups if your sun is well placed. This placement makes you feel connected to humanity, and you will desire to improve humanity in some way. You will probably be very fair, even supporting those who are not your friends for the sake of truth. This may create enemies because not all people are as impartial. An afflicted sun may influence the person to want to be in control of the group no matter through what means. They will also be boastful and create enemies through their desire to shine in a group at any cost. But in general, this placement gives friends who are loyal, generous, and honest, and who will help the native in life. It also shows that the native is likely to achieve fame or at least be known in a community through his social involvements. Friendships and groups are very important in his life. It's likely that he will not mind blending his identity with that of the group he identifies with. He will probably belong to quite a few groups. The native will have an especially good relationship with male friends. They will be the ones helping him to achieve career goals and other heights in life. It's likely that with such a placement, the native will dislike solitude and prefer doing something social in his free time. Sometimes his great involvement with friends and in group activities may cause disagreements with his spouse and family because they will think him dedicating more time to his friends than them, which would be true. It gets even worse with an afflicted sun. In such a case, the native might dedicate his entire time to group activities, completely neglecting his family and work. An afflicted sun could also cause his friends to betray him or to mistreat him in another way. If the sun isn't afflicted, the native's friends will help him when he is in difficulty, either financially or in any other way. Also, this placement might indicate that the native's father holds an important position in the society, or that he is very respected by the community. If the sun is well aspected, the native will have goals to improve the society. If it's ill aspected, he will use groups as a means to gain power and fame. Venus in the 11th house. You will have warm relationships with your friends and you will love spending time in groups. Your friends will help you when you are in trouble. You will probably attract many friends of the opposite sex, and also you're likely to find your intimate partners in a circle of your friends. Your friends might be of beautiful appearance, having great taste in dressing, and they might be artists of some sort. You might be able to even financially profit from your social activities. You will be perceived by your friends as lovable and charming. You will love giving and taking love within a group. You're likely to be flirtatious in a circle of your friends, which will gain you lovers. This placement could also indicate that you will spend more time with your friends than with your lovers, which might bring their displeasure. You will probably belong to some social club, and you will love being its member. You might be quite prominent there. With an afflicted Venus, there is a danger of accepting everyone as friends, even those who can potentially harm you in some way. If Venus is afflicted, it could be that the native will play flirting games with different individuals in the same group, creating unpleasant situations. He is likely to attract quite wealthy friends who will help him in his career. If the chart owner is a man, he will have many female friends, some of whom will help him greatly in life. This placement also may indicate that the person will have many love affairs. He might find it difficult to stay with one person only. He may have simultaneous love affairs. Mercury in the 11th house. It's very important for you to exchange ideas with friends, and communication is of great importance in your life. You try to find friends who are intelligent and who can be mentally stimulating. You easily get bored with friends whom you notice not displaying much intelligence, but you will be open to exchanging ideas and learning from everyone. With this placement, you can easily take on the qualities of your friends, so it's very important to choose your friends wisely and to stay mainly with those whom you perceive to be your role models. You are likely to be impartial and to highly value the truth. You're original and objective. You will investigate subjects such as science, occult, spirituality in general, and things to do with helping the society. You may be perceived as unemotional, but friendly and intelligent. You will be perceived as a mental type by your friends, as opposed to physical or spiritual. Because you have the ability to learn from anything and anyone, you develop every day, and this results in a really broad mindset and an open attitude towards various experiences and people. If Mercury is afflicted, your ideas might be impractical and you may use your intelligence to influence people for selfish purposes. You may prefer traveling in a group than on your own. When it comes to problem solving, you prefer bouncing ideas off each other in a group rather than coming up with a solution on your own. This also expands your understanding of life as you're exposed to various views. You truly try to understand the point of view of others. In turn, this makes you loved by others because of your open mind and the willingness to look into the opposing points of view. You're likely to be involved in your community in some way or be a member of some groups, maybe to do with improving the life of humanity. Your friends aren't likely to permanently stay in your life, but they come and go. Sometimes you only feel balanced when with friends. You may dedicate a great amount of time on social activities. If Mercury is placed in a dual sign, it's highly likely that you will run several projects in your mind at the same time and will be great at multitasking. You should guard against the habit of gossiping, which is very likely with such a placement. Since you know so much about others, it's going to be natural to want to share this information, but it's important to do it with tact and to get into the habit of sharing only the information that is positive and is not going to hurt the discussed person. Also, if Mercury is located close to the 12th house, it's likely that you will find out some secret information that is best to leave secret, as if revealed, it could even lead to some harm being done to you. This placement doesn't usually give loyal friends, but it does give a lot of them. An afflicted by malefics Mercury may influence friends to abuse the native and to betray him. So if this is the case, the native should take care whom he allows close as friends. Also, an afflicted Mercury may cause some legal problems with friends, so effort should be made to settle matters out of court, as the native is likely to lose. You will be good at jobs requiring attention to detail. You might be excellent in work involving much communication or do work related to social sciences. People with such a placement will take care of their appearance and try to look acceptable, to blend in with the group to which they belong, rather than trying to stand out. They might unexpectedly gain great wealth through some communication activity like writing or speaking. And finally, Moon in the 11th house. You will be emotionally attached to your friends and you won't feel well without being socially active. Sometimes you may even be with people you don't much like, just so that you are not alone. Such a placement will attract friends for sure, but sometimes relationships will not be meaningful. In fact, most of your friends might be unreliable and friendships shallow. Also, friendships may not be stable and friends will come and go. A well-aspected moon will provide help from women in times of need. It's possible that the native viewed his mother more as a friend than a parent. Your goals change according to your moods. You are likely to have many female friends. Your home will be a gathering place for friends, and it's likely that many friends will be made through your family. You will be sensitive to the opinions of your friends and may get really upset if some criticism about you is made. Your emotional well-being depends on what your friends think about you. Such a placement will encourage you to allow everyone into your life. However, discrimination is required because you will end up inviting some really nasty people into your life, causing you much grief. With such a placement, it's important to spend at least some time alone so that you get in touch with your feelings, find balance, and understand yourself. However, it's not advised to spend too much time alone because by being deprived of any social interaction, you might sink into depression. In some cases, the natives with such a placement need constant closeness of others because they take the energy of other people. They're energy vampires, in other words. Sometimes they may not even realize that they are taking the energy of other people and thus are draining them. When with friends, the native cares about them and sometimes pampers them. He's likely to entertain them and cook for them. He's likely to often invite them to his home. This placement can make the native excellent in socializing, but if the moon is afflicted, he will be oversensitive about this area of his life. He will join groups that will have feminine energy, and the groups could be about home decor, relationships, making food, fashion, or other female-related subjects of interest. It's important for you to belong to a group and you feel revitalized after spending time socially. An afflicted moon will give group disagreements of an emotional nature. Some members could even become hysterical, the native included. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Take care.